Here we have a web service that is exposing a data model that is stored in the database, right, as an array of courses. So let's implement an Angular client that can hit this, right, and retrieve this data and render it as an Angular component. All right, so let's head over to Angular, our Angular project. There it is, and let's create here a component that can render these courses. So uh, let's create here in a different tab in the same directory where our project lives, right? We're gonna use the ng generate component, and we'll call it Course Navigator. So this is going to create 4 files in that specific directory, right? The Course Navigator directory. And we're going to be using this as our entry point, right? That's going to render our courses, our modules, our lessons, and so on and so forth, right? So let's go back to our here, and in our app, where did it create it? Am I in the right place? Source app, Course Navigator. Source app. Oh, there it is. Our Course Navigator. There we go. Excellent. Right now, our default entry point here is this app component, right? This is the one who's rendering our default content, right? Where is it? Localhost 4200, right? All right, this is our default content, right? So we're gonna blow this away, which is this content over here. We're just gonna blow it away. And instead, we're gonna use this brand new Course Navigator component that we just created, right, that has this selector here, right? So this is how we're going to be using it from HTML to refer to this component, right? So we're just going to do, Course Navigator. There we go. So that if we now come back to this, it re-renders and it renders our Course Navigator, which right now it's just dummy content that says Course Navigator works, right? It's basically rendering this HTML content in the Course Navigator. See that? It says Course Navigator works. Yes? Right. So this is H1. We can say Course Navigator, Navigator, right? So we're definitely in the right place, in the right directory. Yes, in the right component. Excellent. So this is where we're gonna render a list of courses. So what do we want that to look like? Well, we would like to render it as follows. I noticed that this is not rendering Bootstrap for some reason. Something is up here. Let me make sure that it's am I getting errors? Okay, looks like it's trying to load Bootstrap from my local directory. That's not what I want. All right, I guess I never installed Bootstrap. All right. Okay, let me go fetch Bootstrap. Bootstrap CDN, and I'm just going to copy here a URL that has Bootstrap. I'm going to copy that. I'll go back in my index, and I'm going to replace my URL. Okay, let's see. All right, that looks better, right? Now it's using Bootstrap hosted on a CDN. All right, so let's render here in our Course Navigator some content, right? Of what would we want to look like? All right, so first of all, we're gonna put this inside of a div, right? So that our content is not flush with the left-hand side and the top. So let's add some padding around this, and the way we do that is by adding one of our classes. We'll use container fluid. All right, so that adds some nice padding all around, and the course what I'd like to be able to render it is as a list of courses, right? So let's see what that might look like. You know, UUL, maybe you have a course here, course 1, and a whole bunch of courses, right? And right now it just renders ugly because we haven't styled it, but we can style it real quick using one of Bootstrap's styling. We'll say a list. I don't remember what it was. Was it? Get Bootstrap tables. Let's see. Components. Let's look at lists. And the styling is, okay, it's list group. List group. And this will be, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to style this to be list group item, I believe. Let's see if that renders any better. All right, that'll render a little prettier. So I'm just going to copy that a couple of times. And this would be several courses. All right, so this is what we want to render dynamically, right? Go out to the server, retrieve the data, and then render it here. All right, excellent. So let's do that now, right? Let's go fetch some data from the server. And now, how would we dynamically render this, right? Let's look at how we would dynamically render this. Here in our component, we could have an array of courses listed here, right? An array of courses, and this would be a state variable that should be available through the HTML, right? I could create some JSON objects here that has the title, and this is course A with some ID maybe. Oops. And maybe we have a couple of these. And this might be A, B, C, and D, right? And now that it's declared here on the component, this is accessible to the HTML, right? The template that is that belongs to that component. So here, instead of rendering this static, or maybe we can leave it there. We can leave it. Let's dynamically render li. Let's grab one of these and look at and use it as a template, and we can just iterate over this, right? Let's break this up a little bit. Right? We can say ng4. If you remember, ng4 allows us to iterate over a collection, right, of an array. So we can declare a local variable course of courses. So courses is the state variable that we declare on the component side, right, on the JavaScript side, and is readily available right here. And we can now reference this course locally inside our iterator. You can say course.title. All right, so notice now that this is dynamically rendered. The A, B, C, D are dynamically rendered, right, from the array that we have in the components. And the 1, 2, 3, 4 are actually static in the HTML, right? So we don't want the static ones. So I'm just going to blow away these static ones. We want this to be dynamic. But right now, it's only dynamic from the list of courses here. Yes? What we really want to be able to do is go fetch the courses from the server, right? Not from here, not static. So let's do that next.